Hello, my friends, and welcome. My name is Dennis, and as you probably know, I'm the airline pilot. Today is gonna be the very interesting topic in podcast mode. So you won't see me, but you'll hear my voice and, of course, some of the video as the background. Today I'm gonna speak about why I will never work in United States as a pilot. And for you, I think it's also will be interesting to hear because probably you live in a country in the United States or outside the United States, and it would be very interesting for you to know the details of the pilot job in the United States. So stay tuned and let's go. Pum pum. As you also probably know, I live in Ukraine and I work for Ukraine International Airlines as Boeing 737 pilot. So I have Ukrainian passport, I have Ukrainian pilot license, which is the part of ICAO pilot license. So if you live, for example, in India, Philippines, you'll have the same type of license as I do. So you have ICAO. Some of the regions in our world have their own requirements for the aviation personnel as well as for pilots, and they issue their local licenses. For example, for United States, they have Federal Aviation Administration that issues the pilot license of the United States. In Canada, they have their own. In Australia, their own. For Europe, there is unified EASA type of the license. So even though I live in Europe geographically, but I cannot work in Europe because I do not have the European passport and I do not have the European pilot license. But we're gonna speak about it a little bit later because the main thing why I will not move and work in the United States is because I do not have the right to work and live in the United States of America. And as you probably know, the United States is the magnet for many people to move and live there because this country actually is the main train that leads the world economy. China is growing fast right now, but still we have the United States as the leader in economy, in military, in everything, as well as in aviation. So there are wonderful airlines like Southwest, American Airlines, United, Delta, and many more. So it's a good chance for you actually to build up your career, but there are some problems, as I say. It is very popular place for everyone to immigrate. That's why it's very hard to get the right to work and live there. The easiest way probably would be to get the green card to win the lottery, but it's also complicated because many people around the world, they also apply for this green card lottery. I want to put the accent here, my friends. The green card is important, not the visa. You might think that, okay, I'll just apply for the United States visa to study in a aviation college or in flight school, so I will graduate from it and I can apply for airlines, for United States Airlines. But no, my friend, the student visa will guarantee you just studying. So after you graduated, you are free to go, but only outside the United States. So to get the job, to have the right to apply for the job, let's put it in that way, you need to have at least the green card. And as I say to you, the fastest way to get it, the easiest way is to win the lottery. It's not the advertisement of the lottery, but that is what I know. I know a couple of the people who won that lottery and they are not the pilots, but they are now living in the United States. For me, it wasn't really the aim in my life, so I didn't apply for that one. So even though if you have this green card, there might be the other problem because even though you are, let's say you are experienced pilot as I am, let's say you are a Dennis, a pilot in Ukraine, you are a captain, you have more than 6,500 hours in your logbook, and you move to United States, you already have the green card, and you pass your resume resume or CV to the airline, and they will look at it and they will find that you have the Ukrainian passport, you have the green card, but also Ukrainian passport. So you may have you need to have with that passport to go to Canada and maybe neighboring countries. You also need to apply for the visa. So it's not very convenient for the airline to hire you. So they might hire the pilot with less experience, but with the United States passport than you. So to get the United States passport, that's the other thing. So firstly, you get the green card. After that, you live on American soil for quite a lot of time, and after that you got the American citizenship. As you see, my friends, it's not easy at all, and keep in mind that you also need to compete for the job with native English speakers. So airlines would probably hire native English speakers compared to non-native. Well, it depends on your English level, but so far, I think it's quite hard to get used to American English, to get used to this culture. So you need to live several years, I think, in the United States before reaching that, even close to the level of the local people. Pam pam. The second main reason why I will never be a pilot in the United States is I barely touched it before speaking about the FAA. FAA is Federal Aviation Administration, which is the major authority that regulates everything relative to aviation transport. Also, the pilot licensing. So to get the FAA license, you need to apply for it. You need to pass the theoretical exams. You need to pass the simulator check, and also you need to have some of the ratings. Well, for me, it's quite easy. I may spend for around $10,000 for all the exams, simulators, etc. to get actually this license. This license is nice. It is recognized in most of the countries outside the United States. It is not recognized, for example, in Europe, in Australia, but it is recognized in countries like Indonesia, China, and it's very easy to update this license. If you don't have the break between your flights, you can just go for the medical check and your license will be automatically renewed. It's very, very easy. I think it's as simple as driver license. So it's very convenient to have the FAA license. So for me, with my experience, it might cost like $10,000 to achieve this license. If we speak about the EASA, the European pilot license, it's more complicated because there you need to pass around 14 or 15,000 questions for theoretical exams. No, for FAA there are much less exams to pass, much more easier to achieve, but still you need to do it. And if you are a newcomer, if you live actually in the United States and you don't have the pilot experience, wow, my friend, you need to get lots of flight hours. So before applying to airlines, so it's not like in Europe where you graduated from the flight school or your flight college or flight academy as I did, and you can directly apply to the Boeing, Airbus, etc. For America, it's different story. So before applying to airlines, actually need to have the ATP rating. And ATP rating you have after passing 1,500 hours of the flight time that you can get on a smaller type of the aircraft like Cessnas, maybe some small corporate jets, etc. And from this 1,500 hours, you need to have some of the hours as PIC, some cross-country hours, so it's not just flying in a certain position. The usual way for pilots to achieve those hours is to start in a flight school. After they graduate, they start to work as the certified flight instructors for the cadets, for the newcomers, and by that they are gaining their hours. I would also recommend you, if you are a United States citizen and you want to become a pilot, I would recommend you to go first to the college. After that, go to the flight school. Or if you have, the free time after college to do it the same way, I would recommend to do it simultaneously just to save your time. And after you'll have your pilot license, go and apply for certified flight instructor, and by teaching others you understand the aviation regulations, rules, and you'll fly better. So flight instructor, of course, is better than any kind of other job. There are also opportunities in pipeline monitoring flights, also opportunities in cargo operations, corporate operations, but for me, I would rather choose the flight instructor job as for me. So in general, for young pilots just graduated from the flight school in United States, it's very difficult to get the first job compared to European pilots or any kind of other pilots. So here in Europe or in Ukraine, you can just graduate from the academy, apply in every airline. Why not? So there are not so many restrictions, so you can do it. And actually, then I was working in Indonesia. I met a guy who was 23 and he was the first officer on Boeing 777 there. So yeah, why not? It's the experiment of the airline keeping this young first officer. It's good that then you are young, you are mind open to the world, you are perceiving the information in a better way. So why not to use it to upgrade? So for European, for Asian pilots, there are far better perspectives getting the first job. That is what I see. But for American market, there are lots of opportunities actually to build your flight hours to get the ATP rating. So you may waste quite a lot of time for getting that, but after all, then you have your ATP rating. You can apply for regional airlines, and after that, you can apply for Delta, United, etc. Pam pam. And the reason number 3 why I will never fly in America as a pilot is because I need the certified bachelor degree, 4-year degree as minimum. I put attention here, certified. I do have bachelor's degree. I do have even master's degree, but it is Ukrainian degree. And I didn't get it in the United States, and I'm sure that it's not certified by American authorities for me to be confirmed to apply for the airline. Because, for example, Delta and United, and I'm sure you can apply it for American Airlines. If you go to their recruiting websites, you'll find out that it's one of the main requirements to apply there. You need to have the certified bachelor degree or a college degree. If you do have the degree, just make sure that it's certified by United States authority. For me, I'm not sure about that. But the good thing here is there are many of the airlines that do not require you to have the bachelor or any kind of degree, just the high school graduation. That's it. But if you want to grow your career, you need to have this bachelor degree. For example, flying for Southwest, as far as I know, they do not have that requirement. However, they have the other requirement, which is very strict. To apply for the first officer job there, you need to have 2,500 hours. That's quite a lot, because here in Ukraine, you need to have, I think, 200 hours, and you can apply for the cadet program in some of the airline. If you have 500 hours, you are experienced guy, and you can apply not for the cadet program but for the first officer training program. In the United States, you see it's different. Pam pam. The reason number 4 is seniority. You may find the seniority in most of the airlines of the United States. And it is kind of a ladder. You need to climb through it to reach your life goal, I would say. Then you are new, you are coming to the airline, you are young probably, and you are starting as the first officer. and there are many people ahead of you that come a little bit earlier or much earlier, and they have more benefits, more salary, they fly better planes. And if you are a newcomer to the airline, you'll fly the smallest plane, you'll have the worst roster, you will have the less possible salary. And you're climbing this ladder a little bit, but suddenly, as we have the crisis, now there are possible pilot furloughs, pilot layoffs, etc. And all this seniority ladder just goes a little bit down. So if you are newcomer, you'll be probably laid off. So airlines lay off their young first officers, the young captains move to the first officers again, the chief captains move to the other planes, and all this ladder goes a little bit down. So of course it's not very efficient, since you need to train people for different duties for the different airplanes. And then you need to hire people, you actually move this ladder up. So I would say it's not very efficient way, but this system works for decades, and yeah, it's kind of a reliable system, I would say. This seniority system creates lots of competition to apply for the airline to get the job as soon as possible, because the earlier you are in, the less chances you have to get the furloughs or layoffs. At some point, this seniority system may stop your career. For example, the airline that you are working in, it's not growing anymore. They do not hire new people. They do not take new planes, and you just stuck there. You're stuck in the first officer position, for example, on a 737. No one is leaving the airline. No one is coming. So the seniority system stands still, and you do not have any movement. That's the thing is happening nowadays, because we have the crisis. But the prediction is good. The prediction that the airlines will need many more new pilots in the nearby 5 years. And baby boomers generation that is close to 63 years old, so they're gonna get retired in nearby 2 years. So that creates lots of opportunities for the pilots to achieve their career goals. Pum pum. And the final reason number 5, why I will never be a pilot in the United States, it is the salary. If you start from beginning and work for the regional airline, well, my friends, the salary is very low. But little by little, then you are climbing through this seniority ladder, again, all around seniority, right? Then you get in a cockpit as a captain of Boeing 737 at least, or in the best scenario it will be Boeing 777 or A350 or something, and you're a captain there you can have nice money for living. But still, we're not today talking about the politics. I'm not here talking about the politics, etc. on my channel, but I know some of the American style lifestyle realities that I will never face here in Ukraine. I mean, the credits, everything in credits. So I'm not the person who is taking credits. I never took the credit in my life. So I have the salary, I spend the salary. I will never lend the money from the bank. So I'm not that person. And I think for me, it would be very hard to live in the United States. So the salary is not that high to provide the good accommodation for my children, good education for my children. I mean, the best one probably. Here, with the pilot salary, I may provide it for my kids. Yeah, it will be Ukrainian type of the education, but it will be the good one, right? For my kids to have the good college degree in the United States, I would probably still need to loan some money from the banks, right? So to have some credits that I will pay for all my life. I need to have the credit for the house, etc. So it's not really my lifestyle. Maybe I'm wrong, my friends. Maybe I'm totally wrong. And please, subscribers from United States, tell me if I'm wrong or not, because I've never been to your country. I know from what my American friends are talking about. So I'm just doing my own analysis on this topic. So probably the realities are different. Probably it's the salary is nice, would be okay for to build not only your living to cover your living costs, but also cover living costs for the kids, etc. So maybe my outcomes are wrong, but what can I say? The guys who were working with me in Indonesia, there were several guys from United States. They were happy. They were so happy working in Indonesia because they say, "Wow, it's such nice money working here. No tax." So they got the tax-free money. And one of the guys, he left Indonesia for United States, so he came back. So he was the captain in Indonesia, and he applied for some of the career in United States, and they hired him just as the first officer because, yeah, it's the seniority, my friends, seniority. And the other guy, he's working now in Taiwan or something. So the Taiwan hired him as a captain directly. So again, if some airline around the world they need captains, they usually hire experienced guys, but for a captain position. That's also one thing here in America. There in America, if you work, for example, for United Airlines as a captain, you have the high seniority rating, but suddenly you want to change your job for, let's say, American Airlines. My friend, you will be hired in better case on the lowest possible seniority position as a captain. There are some exclusions, but usually it's like that. In the worst case, you will be hired as the first officer. Yeah, so the seniority rules, and it depends on the airline. So for you, if you want to work for United States, you need to decide for which airline. So you need to think about it, where I want to work, because you'll associate all your career growth with the same airlines throughout your career. Or you may change the airline, but you'll always be on the bottom of seniority. Yes, guys, and speaking about the salary, it is very good if you are on the top list of seniority. You don't really need to think about anything. You have the nice money. However, the taxes in the United States, they are quite high as well. So if you are in the middle of seniority, I think it's okay. It's okay. For me, everything is okay relative to flying. I can fly for food, etc. But I need to think about the future of my family. If I were alone, it doesn't matter, okay, for me. But for my family, now I need to think about the future, I need to think about the savings, etc. The living costs in the United States, they're quite high. Not as in, for example, Dubai, but they're quite high. However, in Dubai, you have nice program. For example, in Emirates, they will give you the house or apartments. They will pay for your bills, and basically you need to pay for the food and those extras that you want to buy, like iPhones, laptops, etc. So as you see, sometimes airlines care about their pilots because they know that, for example, in Emirates, they have expats mostly, the pilots from abroad, so they need to invest to the houses, to villas, to apartments, for the pilots to be in comfortable environment there. About the America, yeah, I heard stories, especially for the regional carriers. Then you need to switch between the bases, and you have lots of flights between several cities per one day. Yeah, it's sometimes terrible. Then you need to actually sometimes pay for the transport to get from one city to another. That's crazy. It's unimaginable even here in Ukraine, but in the United States sometimes it may happen. Yes, as for the regional carriers. For the main carriers like United, Delta, yeah, for sure it's not the case. My friends, I gave you the 5 reasons why I will never be a pilot in the United States. And yes, for me, I don't really see the main goal for me to change everything, to fly somewhere else. There is one saying in Ukrainian, де народився, там і згодився. So you can translate it, where you was born, in that place you are needed. So I basically built my career here in Ukraine. Yeah, of course, I had the experience flying abroad, but mainly I have the job, I have everything basically that I need. I have apartments here, the car, the motorcycle, my family. We are happy, even though it's crisis, but it could have been worse in my case. I like Ukraine International Airlines, and I also like people who work with me here. It's also my second family, I must say. We have a good friendship, we have motorcycle club here, and you can share your interests within the airline. Of course, if I would go somewhere like in the United States, I would find friends, etc., but I would spend lots of years building the similar style relationship, and I think I will never be in their group. I would say I'm a different-minded person. I'm from the other. I was grown here in different environment, you see, so I will never understand some parts of their jokes. I will be like, this song, The Englishman in New York. So I'll be, totally, not totally, but at some point I will be different, and I will never feel the same. Of course, it's different thing that you work for multicultural airline like Emirates, Qatar. They have people from all around the world, so they have some middle understanding, middle mindset. So and actually they were looking for the pilots who have everything in the middle according to their psychometrical profile. That is what Emirates say to me on screening. I went to the screening with Emirates, and actually I passed it. But that's the other story, my friends. For now, I hope you understand everything, and I may not be correct in my studying because I am not in the United States. Please understand me correctly. I may not know many of the things. So if you know something better, please state it in a comment section below. I'm just sharing my mindset, why I will never fly in the United States as a pilot. But if it's your goal, I can definitely wish you the good luck and do your best. Just understand that you need to go through some obstacles. You need to overcome lots of things. But if it's your goal, your life goal, just follow it and stay awesome as usual. I know you are awesome, so please follow the Awesome Guy checklist. First, like this video. Second, subscribe to my channel if you're not. And ring the bell, whatever it means. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a great time. Pam pam.